Hi friends, I bring you another video in my Pro series. Today we're looking at the callouts pro teams make in Apex Legends, which you can use to win more games and work better as a team in Ranked. I'll feature some of your favourite teams in this video, including TSM, NRG and many more. By the way, this is my third video in my Pro series of videos for Apex Legends. Check out my analysis of pro teams in my How to Play Like a Pro video if you haven't seen it already. Let's start with the first clip of callouts I would like to talk about.
Almost cracked race, 70 blue.
You heard Nathan from NRG call out the damage on the Wraith in that clip. This is the first callout I want to talk about. Pro players tend to do this a lot, where they call out the starting legend name, the damage, and the type of Evo armor of the person or team they're facing. For example, in that clip you just saw, it was a Wraith with a blue Evo armor and 70 damage to her. It lets your teammates know that there's a Wraith on the team, plus how much damage you've dealt and what armor they have. You can also have variations of this callout as well. For example, maybe just calling out the legend and how much damage you deal, or just the damage and type of armor if you aren't sure which legend it is. Whatever you go with, a callout of this nature can really help you and your team understand your surroundings and also focus your fire to get more KP. Also, knowing the legend is also quite useful because it helps you and your team to be more prepared for what you're facing. See in this clip how Complexity are calling out that it's a crypto team that's landing near them.
I mean, I'm down for like team, I think. If we have That's the crypto team.
That's the crypto team? Or...
You can hear from this call out, they're making their team aware that it's a crypto team landing nearby, and this means everyone can be aware and be on alert for a drone and a possible EMP situation. Let's move on to the next clip and call out.
Cracked one on the right, the valve.
You heard Skittlecakes from Esports Arena calling out cracked in that clip. Broken or cracked are good calls to make for the team. Now, calling out cracked or broken is specific to body shields, and it essentially means the enemy doesn't have any more shields left. Again, this is a good way to alert your teammates if you want them to focus a player and get her down more quickly. Health and flesh is also a good call out to go with this, and listen to this clip of where flesh or health works well as a call out.
They're flash, they're flash!
You see there, they get the down because they're able to call out flesh and focus fire on the weak enemy. 1 HP is a callout that also goes quite closely with health and flesh. You call out 1 HP if the enemy is literally one shot from death. However, I have noticed pros tend to not use this quite as much, mainly because it's slightly misleading if you're not 100% sure. Although watch this clip where Nathan calls out 1 HP on the Valk, and I'm pretty sure she's a little bit more than 1 HP. So you can see in this clip that even the pros do it sometimes. The next callout I want to talk about is play your life. Check out Shiv and Hal using it in a game scenario here.
They swing out for you. Play your life, play your life.
Just play your life, play your life, play your life.
So as you heard, play your life is quite a good callout to use. This is one of my favourites in fact. Lots of pro players and top teams use this phrase. Now this is generally when you've been down or thirsted and you want your teammates to play their life and essentially leave the situation and not worry about trying to save you. And you normally call this out if there are other teams around you because you want to keep your teammates safe and alive because they might be able to grab your banner later on or even get the res on you if you're downed and you can crawl away.
I need a bat, I need a bat.
You heard their Duplex calling out that he needed to bat. Telling your team when you're healing by saying popping a bat or a shield cell or popping a heal is super useful. It's interesting that not many casual players really communicate when they're healing, but it's a good thing to do because it lets your teammates know that you need some time to heal. So if they're trying to come up with a plan to attack or rotate, they know that you might need a second or two to heal up. And it's a very common thing amongst pro teams. In fact, pretty much every pro team calls out when they're taking a bat or a heal. Look at this example of NRG here, where Nathan needs to pop a bat, and he lets his teammates know, and you can see they hold back for a few seconds so he can pop the bat before they push into the fight.
Yeah, I'm popping a bat, I'm popping a bat, I'm popping a bat. My art.
Right side. Caustic behind the truck.
Nading it,
I'm batting.
In that clip, you just heard Esports Arena and also NRG calling out the use of their arc stars by saying my arc and my nades. It's good to call out when you're throwing nades, whether that be a thermite, a grenade, or an arc star. This lets your teammates know that they are friendly nades so they won't take damage for them. So this callout's particularly useful when you're pushing an enemy team, because it could allow your teammates a split second to not hesitate and push in because they know they're friendly nades and they won't take damage.
I have 9 cells and 7 bats.
I have 2 cells.
6'6".
I'm 5'4".
I have 4 cells. That's it.
I have
Phoenix.
8
I have
cells
10.
in the bus.
In that clip, you heard NRG and Esports Arena there. They're calling out the number of heals and shields they have. This is very common amongst pros, and it's another thing I don't really hear casuals do much. In the clips, you heard them stating the number of shield cells and batteries that they each have, and the reason for this is so they can then share evenly the batteries and shields across the team. You don't want one person holding all of the batteries or all of the shield cells, and I do find casual players tend to wait till they've run out of shields or batteries before making this call out. But after a fight, you want to heal as quickly as possible. So if you can pre-plan like the pro teams were in those clips, and then share out your shield cells and batteries across the team, you'll be in a much better position after fights. The next call out I want to talk about is calling out when there's a new team or a third party. This call out lets your teammates know that there's another team arriving on the scene. Sometimes in the heat of battle, they might not realize there's another team around pushing in, so your foresight can actually help. Listen to Esports Arena here.
I think we have to skip it.
No, there's another team on the other side.
Okay, never mind.
You can tell Duplex wants to push, but Skittlecake's call out that there's another team there is a really great call out because it means they don't then push and they can readjust. If Skittlecakes didn't make that call out, Duplex might have pushed and certainly would have got downed. So this is another example of how this kind of call out can really help you and your team.
The other team's gonna walk up. Armor swap.
You heard TSM and Hal calling out to armor swap in that clip, and this is a really great call out to make. It's very easy to forget to armor swap, or it might just be your teammates don't even realize an armor swap is available. So making this call out can really help your team armor swap and potentially save their lives. See NRG in this clip where Sweet drops an armor swap for Rocker after he gets rezzed, and Sweet then grabs an armor swap for himself from the death box nearby.
I'm jumping a swap, Nate. Can you get him up? Get him up. I'm gonna hold.
Ultimately, this allows them to push on and win the fight, so you can see how beneficial the armor swap was there.
I'm gonna give you all that.
The rat's still in the stairwell.
In this clip, you heard Skittlecakes calling out the location of a rat in the stairwell. Calling out where enemies are can really help you coordinate your rotations and your attacks. In this case, the call allows Skittlecakes and Noct to get an extra KP by pushing the Gibraltar together.
By the way, I'm Volt PK, so my range isn't like crazy.
What's your primary rocker?
Repeater.
Alright.
The final call out I wanted to cover is a simple one that you just heard NRG talking about. Calling out your weapon combos can be really useful for 2 reasons. Firstly, your teammates know what type of ammo you're holding. In a team, you don't want to be all holding the same weapon or ammo type because it means you're likely to run out of ammo as a team. Secondly, it helps you know what sort of range and distance capability your team has. You heard Nathan from MRG in that clip say he had a Volt and a PK. This shows his team clearly that his weapon combo has limited range, and so they can readjust their playstyle as a team to take into account what kind of range the team has. Again, it's a really useful call out that I don't feel enough casuals make. It's a simple piece of information you just need to tell your teammates, and that can be enough information to help you and your whole team adjust to the kind of fights you take in a game. Anyway, these are just some of the key call outs I've noticed that pros make in my analysis, and you can see from these clips I featured in this video how these call outs really help these pro teams do better. Hopefully these will help you do better in Apex Legends as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.